The Blown Away Rabbit by Enid Blyton. This edition has been illustrated by Susie Jane Tanner. This is my favourite book from when I was little. There was once a small rabbit who was a very friendly creature. His name was Bobbin. And if you could have seen his white tail bobbing up and down as he ran, you would have thought his name was a very good one. He lived just outside the farmyard near the pond where the big white ducks lived. He used to play with the yellow ducklings and they were very fond of him. See, there they are. One day, Waggletail, the smallest duck, had a terrible fright. He ran away from the others because he wanted to see if there was a puddle he could swim in all by himself. The pond seemed so crowded when all the white ducks and the yellow ducklings were on it. Well, Waggletail waddled off to where he saw the rain puddle shining. It was a very nice puddle indeed. Waggletail sat on it and did a little swim around it, quacking in his small duckling voice. There he is, swimming by himself. The farm cat heard him and left his seat on the wall at once. Young fat ducklings made wonderful dinners for cats, but usually ducklings kept with the big ducks, and the farm cat was afraid of them then. A duckling on a puddle by itself, said the big black cat to himself in joy. He crept around by the wall. He crept around the pigsty. He crouched low and waggled his body ready to jump, and just then the duckling saw him. With a terrified quack, he scrambled off the puddle and ran to find his mother. But he went the wrong way. Poor little thing, he went under the field gate instead of under the gate that led to the pond. The cat crept after him, his tail swinging from side to side. "Quack, quack, quack," cried the little yellow duckling. "Quack, quack, quack." But his mother didn't hear him. Nobody heard him. But wait, yes, somebody has heard him. It's Bobbin, the little rabbit. Bobbin heard the ducklings quacking and popped his long ears out of the burrow. He saw Waggletail waddling along, and he saw the farm cat after him. So there's the cat and Waggletail and Bobbin in his hole. "Waggletail, Waggletail, get into my burrow!" "Quickly!" cried Bobbin. Waggletail heard him and waddled to the burrow. The cat would have caught him before he got there if Bobbin hadn't leapt out and jumped right over the cat, giving him such a fright that he stopped for a moment. And in that moment, the little duckling was able to run into the rabbit's hole. Down the dark burrow he waddled, quacking loudly, giving all the rabbits such a surprise. Bobbin leapt into the hole too, and the friends sat side by side, wondering if the cat was still outside. "I daren't go out. I daren't go out," quacked poor Waggletail. "I will go and fetch your big white mother duck," said Bobbin. "I can go out to the pond by the hole that leads there. Stay here for a little while." Bobbin ran down another hole and up a burrow that led to the bank of the pond. He popped out his furry head and called to Waggletail's mother. There's Bobbin giving the cat a surprise. The cat's given up and gone back home. And there's Waggletail's mum. "The cat nearly caught Waggletail. He's down my burrow. Please come and fetch him." So the big white duck waddled from the pond to fetch her duckling from Bobbin's burrow. She was very grateful to Bobbin for saving her little Waggletail. "Maybe some day I shall be able to do you a good turn," she said, and off she went quacking loudly. Now, not long after that, Bobbin wanted to go and see Waggletail, but when he put his nose out of the burrow, he found it was raining very hard. "You must not go out in that rain," said his mother. "Wait till it stops." But it didn't stop. The rain went on and on. Bobbin was very cross. "I will borrow an umbrella," he thought. So he went to his great aunt Jemima and was just going to ask for an umbrella, which was standing in the corner, when he saw that she was fast asleep. Bobbin knew that no one should borrow things without asking, and he couldn't wait until Aunt Jemima woke up, so he tiptoed to the corner and took the big old umbrella. He scuttled up the burrow with it. Dragging it behind him, he pulled it out of the hole and put it up. My goodness, it was a big one. Bobbin held on to the big crook handle and set off down the hillside. It was a very windy day, and big purple clouds slid swiftly across the sky. A great gust of wind came and took hold of the umbrella and blew it up into the sky. There he goes! And Bobbin went with it. He was such a little rabbit that the wind swept him right off his feet with the umbrella. And here he was flying along in the sky, holding on to the umbrella. He was dreadfully frightened. He clung to the handle with his 2 paws, hoping he wouldn't fall, but feeling quite sure he would very soon. Poor Bobbin! The wind swept him right over the pond. The ducklings looked up in surprise when they saw the enormous umbrella. But how they stared when they saw poor Bobbin hanging on to it too. "It's a rabbit! It's a rabbit!" they cried. And Waggletail knew which rabbit it was. "It's Bobbin, my dear friend Bobbin!" quacked Waggletail. "Mother, mother, look at Bobbin. He will fall. What can we do to save Bobbin? He saved me. We must save him." "But how can we?" said Mother Duck. "Mother, can't you fly?" "After him?" cried Waggletail. "I know you don't often fly because you prefer to swim, but couldn't you just try to fly after poor Bobbin?" "I will try," said Big Mother Duck. So she spread her big white wings and rose into the air. She flapped her wings and flew after the big umbrella. Bobbin was still holding on, but his paws were getting so tired that he knew he would have to fall very soon. The Mother Duck flew faster and faster on her great wings, and she caught up with the umbrella. She flew under the surprised rabbit and quacked to him, "Sit on my back! Sit on my back!" Bobbin saw her just below him. He let go the umbrella handle and fell neatly onto the duck's broad, soft back. Plop! He held onto her feathers. Down to the pond she went, carrying the frightened rabbit. What a welcome the little ducklings gave him! As for Waggletail, he could hardly stop quacking. "You did me a good turn, and now my mother has paid it back," he quacked. "Oh, I'm so glad you're safe." There's Bobbin on Mother Duck's back and reunited with all his little friends. "So am I," said Bobbin. "But oh dear, what about my Aunt Jemima's umbrella? It's gone to the clouds." It came down again the next day and fell into the field where Neddy the donkey lived. Neddy took the handle into his mouth and trotted to Bobbin's burrow with it. "Here you are," he said to Bobbin. "I heard your Aunt Jemima was going to smack you for taking her umbrella without asking. I hope she hasn't smacked you yet." "No, she hasn't," cried Bobbin joyfully. "Oh, thank you, Neddy. What good friends I have." So there's Neddy returning the umbrella. He ran down the burrow with the big umbrella, meaning to give it to his great Aunt Jemima, but she was asleep again, with her paws folded in her shawl. So Bobbin quickly stood the umbrella in the corner and ran off to tell Waggletail. "Don't get blown away again, will you, Bobbin?" begged the duckling. And Bobbin promised that he wouldn't. He didn't want any more adventures just then. Thank you for listening to my favourite story.